I guess the place to start really is tell us a little bit about the player and sort of his journey up until this point.
Well, we're talking about a player who's 18, a centre back, as you know, and we're talking about a player who hadn't even made his Serie A debut a year ago today. So we're talking about a fee that maybe for a club like Liverpool is not that high because it's around £26 million. But in Italy, there were a lot of clubs after him because he's one of the best Italian prospects in when you talk about centre backs. But that was a fee that no Italian club could pay. Milan, for example, were one of those clubs after Leoni, and when they sold Malik Thiaw to Liverpool, they went for Conny De Winter instead, who is a centre back and can play as a right back as well. They got him from Genoa. They were one of the clubs who wanted Leoni, but in the end, they had to go for something different because Leoni was going to Liverpool for this sort of fee that no other Serie A club could match. In terms of the skill sets on the pitch, he's very tall, nearly 2 meters tall. But despite that, he's very composed on the ball, I have to say. He has good stats in terms of passing, both in his half and in the opponent's half. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of experience because we're talking about a guy who made 17 Serie A appearances, and he made his first Serie A appearance in November 2024. So we're talking about a player who has everything to learn, but he's one of the best Italian prospects. So he's in the right place. He's going in the right place, I think, to learn, especially from somebody like Virgil van Dijk, who he said a few months ago he's his biggest idol. So it's a huge opportunity for him because he can really, fulfill a dream and work alongside his biggest idol.
No, absolutely, yeah. And there is not many centre backs in world football around who you'd rather be learning from than Virgil van Dijk. I mean, Italy have had a fair share, a crop of centre back, absolute legendary ones down the years. But yeah, right now, Virgil van Dijk is probably top of the list in terms of who you want to be getting tips off. I saw Arrigo Sacchi spoke to Football Italia about Giovanni Leoni yesterday, and some of the things he said were he's a modern, strong, and gritty centre back. He reiterated the fact he's a modern central defender. You mentioned his height and his physique and his literal strength there a moment ago, and you also mentioned the fact that he is very composed on the ball. Is that how you'd sort of describe him as well, being like that hybrid, the cross between do his defensive work really well, that old school gritty Italian style, whilst also being a bit of a ball player?
Yeah, again, in the first part of the season, Parma last season they avoided relegation just in the final game, and they had to change the coach around February when they swapped Fabio Pecchia with Christian Chivu, who is now in charge of Inter and is not going to the Inter after Giovanni Leoni as well. He played almost every game under Kivu. He made his debut under Pecchia in the first part of the campaign, and he scored his first and only Serie A goal under Pecchia in the first part of the campaign. But then he got more regular playing time under Christian Kivu. And if you see his best performances in Serie A last season, I think those against Juventus and Napoli, who eventually won the title. Played 90 minutes. Played against Dusan Vlahovic against Juventus, played against Romelu Lukaku against Napoli, and what was amazing to see was his ability to defend in any way, like pressing high and trying to win the ball as high as possible, or defend inside the box. So he's very complete. He's a defender who can really grow a lot, and again, if a Liverpool fan want to see a little bit more about Giovanni Leoni, those performances against Juventus and Napoli, I think they were his best performances in Serie A so far this season. And he hasn't had many because he had just 17 games in Serie A, but mostly in the second part of the campaign. And his improvement has been steady. If you think he joined Parma just a year ago for less than 5 million from 5 million euros from Sampdoria, and now he's going to Liverpool for 30 million euros after 17 appearances. It's a bit crazy, but that's what he's shown, especially over the last few months at Parma.
That was a clip from Transfer Insight. To check out the whole show, head to redmenplus.com or click the link in the description.